recent. Well, I don't know how recent it was, but he was in a WWE DVD not too long back about managers or whatever. I don't know what year that DVD came out though.
Really? I thought he died like a long time ago. Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else.
You're probably thinking of someone else because I think Albano's actually still alive.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but I think he's still alive.
Here's one everybody knows of. The Von Erichs.
Oh yeah, the Von Erichs.
And
I actually seen them live before that dude passed away.
I think I might have. I don't know if I seen them live, but I was in Texas wrestling. I was real little, and I wasn't liking it, and I just wanted to leave. Me, my dad, and my mom left in the middle of the match. I don't know who was wrestling, but I have. I mean, they were like the Hulk Hogan of Texas. They were so huge in Texas, it wasn't even funny. I mean, they were such big icons and legends, mainly in the state of Texas. And Kevin Von Erich is the only one out of those wrestlers that are still alive. And
yeah.
Kerry Von Erich, I don't know who's the first one. Actually, I got the DVD called The Triumph and Tragedy of World Class Championship Wrestling. Mm-hmm. It's an awesome DVD, but it's heartbreaking because Kevin is talking about how his brothers are dying and how they're committing suicide. And I think Chris Von Erich, he had shot himself in the head or the back of the head. And Kevin was there and holding him while he was struggling to breathe or something. The way he described it was so sad. And how his brothers were dying one by one. And Kerry Von Erich, I think he committed suicide too. And Chris Von Erich and David Von Erich died of I forgot how he didn't commit suicide though. He died in a sleeping hotel. He was I think he's supposed to win. He's supposed to wrestle the next night or something. He was in Japan. I think he ate so much at dinner, then he went to bed, and it has something to do with him dying or something. But I think it might have been something else.
Who's this now?
David Von Erich.
Oh, okay.
And then Mike Von Erich. He died of something else. I think he didn't commit suicide. I think the only two who did not commit suicide was David and Mike. I believe Chris and Kerry committed suicide, and then Kevin still alive. And man, I tell you, God bless Kevin Von Erich. Still be alive, and I'm glad he was able to pull through it and not commit suicide. I mean, he's been through so much, losing his family left and right, and then it's hard on his dad too. I don't know how his dad died, but
I was just gonna say, I know every time you see him on like an interview or whatever, you could always hear the sadness in his voice. Is it Kerry Von Erich, the one that's still alive?
Kevin.
Or Kevin, I meant. Yeah, you could always hear the sadness in his voice. Like he's totally broken up about it. And now that I think back, I think it was Kevin Von Erich was the one I saw live back in when my family was living in Palestine, Texas. They used to do shows at the high school in Palestine, and I saw him with I want to say, Chris Adams or the guy that trained Stone Cold. I can't think of his name.
Yeah, gentleman Chris Adams.
Yeah, Chris Adams. I saw him, along with I believe Coco Beware and some others. It was a really cool show.
Yeah, Chris Adams. That's another person that died.
Did he pass away finally?
He got shot by somebody.
Oh yeah, that's right. He was always causing trouble.
Yeah, I thought he was a gentleman.
Well, oh, gentleman, Chris. Yeah. No, actually, he. If you ever listened to the Stone Cold story about him, he kind of ripped Stone Cold off about training him to be a wrestler.
Yeah.
He kind of left Stone Cold out to dry, but Stone Cold, I guess, found somebody else to teach him a lot better. I forget how his story goes. But
I remember when Steve Austin made his debut in wrestling. It was in 1989. Chris Adams brought him in, and a young, long-haired Steve Austin, smiling, babyface rookie, getting his butt kicked. Then one day, Steve Austin just didn't smile no more, and he's known as Steve Williams, and he goes, "My name's Steve Austin." And Chris Adams like, "Oh, okay, but anyway." And you can see the attitude change real quick, and he wasn't Stone Cold right there, but he turned heel. And
well, it's always funny because you ever hear him talk about the story is he goes out there to wrestle, and he says, "What's your name?" And he's like, "Steve Williams." He's like, "You can't be Steve Williams. You already got Steve Williams. Your name is Steve Austin." He's like, "I don't want to be Steve Austin. That's the name of the $6 million man. I don't want to be Steve Austin." He's like, No, you're Steve Austin. He's like, well, can you come up with something better? If you can come up with something better, you won't be Steve Austin. So he has like 2 or 3 minutes. He goes back, thinks for a little while, comes back, and they say, have you thought of anything else? He's like, no. And he's like, your name's Steve Austin. Get out there. That's not how Steve Austin got his name, because he couldn't come up with anything better. The guy that was there gave him the name.
Do you know how he came up with the name Stone Cold?
Actually, yeah. Well, see, after, he was supposed to become, he was watching late night, watching these serial killer movies or whatever, and he wanted to have something to do with the serial killer. And, well, the next day he was trying to think of being called the Iceman or something like that, and he ended up grabbing this cup of coffee laying on the desk that his wife had made him, like, earlier in the day, and he picks it up, and I forget if he says it or she says, I think it's his wife says, be careful, that coffee is stone cold. And he's like, you just came up with my wrestling name.
Yep. Yeah, that's exactly how it happened. And so he didn't want to be known as the ringmaster, which was stupid.
Ted DiBiase kind of helped him with that gimmick.
Yeah, and he was always a great wrestler, but when he became Stone Cold, he became more basic, more of a brawler. I guess he's getting older, and kind of like Scott Steiner, he didn't want to do the flashy wrestling stuff no more, because when Scott Steiner was young, he was an awesome worker, awesome wrestler.
Yeah.
And
both him and his brother.
Yeah, and I remember when Stone Cold was on Conan O'Brien, they were talking about how he got that name, Stone Cold. Conan O'Brien says, it's a good thing she didn't say, get the coffee before it becomes a tad chilly.
Wow.
Here goes Tad Chili, Steve Austin.
That's beautiful.
But anyway, about the Kevin Von Erich talking on the DVD, I'm sure, I know they paid him a lot of money, I hope, because I know that was painful for him to talk about the tragedy about his family and everything. But it made me think of the Monday Night War DVD.
Oh, that's a great DVD.
Yeah, and Ric Flair, I heard this on PWInsider.com, and I think it's I don't think it's in Eric Bischoff's book, but Flair did a promo on TV saying, how come we didn't put this in your book, Bischoff? What happened was, when Flair was talking about how he was mistreated during the whole lawsuit where Flair did not show up for a WCW event because his son Reed was wrestling in a wrestling tournament for kids, and Flair missed it to see his son wrestle, and then Bischoff was threatened to sue him for breach of contract, or he did sue him for breach of contract.
That is actually in his book. I've actually read Eric Bischoff's book.
And but I don't think he included this part. When Flair was being interviewed for the Monday Night War DVD about that, after they said cut, Flair got so emotional about it, he ran past Arn Anderson and said, "Watch the door." He stormed into Bischoff's room and started beating the crap out of him.
I've never heard that story. I mean, that might be true, but I've never actually heard that story.
Flair has a hot temper behind the scenes. I remember him and Mick Foley were fighting each other but they did not like each other.
Yeah, that is very true.
But anyway,
before we go too far, I don't know why I said Captain Lou Albano. I was thinking of Junkyard Dog.
Oh, yeah.
I know that they look completely different, obviously. But yeah, Lou Albano was the one that did Mario on the Super Mario Bros. Super Show. Okay, all right. His name just entered my brain, and then I went and just looked it up on the computer, and I was like, wait a minute, I think it was Junkyard Dog. And it was like, yeah, okay.
I thought that
it's another one that died.
I thought that was Ron Jeremy.
Oh, God.
Ron Jeremy, oh my God.
There's a Super Mario Brothers porn now.
There's actually a picture with Ron Jeremy's face photoshopped as Mario.
Oh, yeah, I think I've seen that.
I saw that.
I guess just a joke then.
I think he actually dressed up like that. I might be wrong.
Yeah, he actually did dress up in the overalls and almost looked exactly like Mario, but...
Yeah, that's what I thought. It was really him.
What was that?
Go ahead.
I was going to say, what was that, Super Porno Brothers? What was the what was the script of that?
I don't know, he was just like a hillbilly or something, and he's running around, I guess, I don't know. I've never seen it, so I've seen the picture, but I've never seen that particular,
Sure. No.
Yeah. You had to go save the princess.
Yeah, hey, might as well.
Yeah, I can see where that's going. Yeah. Anyway, this 2K show mainly it's supposed to be about Benoit, but part of what makes the show great is that we get off topic because who cares? I mean, not that who cares about Benoit family. I'm talking about who cares. We get off topic as far as this is just a thing for YouTube. Like Jman said in the last show, we're not Fox News. We're fair. We try to be fair and balanced.
Yeah, we're not Bill O'Reilly.
As a matter of fact, next week on the S2K show, Bill O'Reilly will join us. He's real ticked off. He's real ticked off at me and J-Man for making fun of him in Double Dragon.
Yeah.
Oh man, we need to bring Skip Rogers in. That's what we need to do.
Oh yeah, and Billy Mitchell as well will be here with us next week. No.
Get Christian Bell and just have him curse everyone out.
Oh man.
Have him and Bill O'Reilly in the same room.
Yeah.
Oh.
Just yell at each
And
other.
make them real mad before both of them come on.